help you who is not yet a nurse, or it will help you as a nurse to know how much you should really earn. We're talking cash. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about how much I get as a nurse. So this is a topic that I want to share with you guys for you to know if nursing is the right career for you, or it is something you're going to dump on the way and do something else. So I'm so sorry about the background noise. It's not going to go away for now because they're doing some renovations at home. Hope you bear with me for some time. I have no option but to record while that background noise is there. So I personally have earned from as little as 400 to as much as 8 millions or more, or closely more, or 8 millions or 7.5, but up to that much per month as a nurse. This depends on a lot of things. I've just graduated. I graduated in 2019. So 2019, 2020, the COVID times were so hard, but they happened to be the best of me. And then now 2021. So I've closely been in the field for 2 years. And in those 2 years, I've learned many things. But the most important thing I learned was, for a nurse, usually you earn for what you work for. Like, zokolerera zofuna. If you don't work so hard, rarely will you get the money. However, you can be blessed with a good job. You sit there and then they pay you. Hopefully that happens to me sometime. But let me start from when I started earning 400,000. So I finished school in 2019 June. We finished our exams. I handed in my research. I had finished my research, so I handed it in, and then I'm that person who has always practiced during my holidays. I do not want to sit home, because when you're home, you're not learning, you're not helping yourself. So as a student who was in the nursing field or a practical field, I decided to go and be volunteering every holiday. So when I finished my 4th year, that June, I decided to join a hospital. But this time round, I had a purpose, I had a goal. I just wanted to do specifically ICU or critical care, because I was tired of the medical, the surgical, the pediatrics. I'd rotated in those fields and I was saturated with them. I felt I wasn't learning something new. So excited as I went to ICU. I'm so grateful for the hospital that hosted me to train me in ICU. So I started my critical care journey from there. So, that's not when I started earning. So I started earning, I think, the end of 2019. So I volunteer with them. I am a student. I learn as much as I can, and I learned with them up to October. We start our internship in October. Sorry if the camera is a bit shaky. The same table it is on is where my leg is resting, because I feel it's shaking. But so from June to October, I was there. I would go Monday to Friday. It is somehow near home, so it wasn't so hard for me to access the hospital. So it was near home. My dad was like, you know what, no more giving you that money for nothing. So he would give me like transport only. So I think I used to use like 5,000 transport from home to town, from town to the hospital. So I ended up spending like 5,000 per day. So my dad was willing to give me that, so I decided to go for it, because the other option was for a hospital near home. But at the end of the day, the money was relatively the same. Transport money. Why? Because transport to this hospital near home is cheap, but the problem is they don't provide lunch to students. But the other hospital, I was free to eat lunch. So at the end of the day, going far away from home would give me some, like, I would compensate the money for lunch into transport. So that's how I ended up going to that hospital. So I worked with them up to the time of internship. So October, I requested the assistant nursing director. The nursing director by then was in her maternity leave. I requested the assistant, like, should I continue working here since my internship center is very near? The nursing director advised me to go and focus on my internship because it is not really so important that I'm there. I'm not paid, and and I have to do internships. So I felt so sad. I was like, okay, they fired me even before I get the job. So from there, I started my internship, and in December, I think after 2 months, they called me. They told me if I'm available for an ICU shift. You don't know how excited I was. So I started working in December. I think December, many people usually get sick in December, and usually have a type of speciality whose patients get sick around that time. I don't know, but we believe it. We believe that certain people get sick in that time. So we had our patients. There were many patients in the hospital, so that's why I was invited, because of the shortage. For each shift, I used to earn 40,000 in so they used to give me 40,000. So the 40,000 they would give me, I made sure that I work as hard as I can. Minimally, I would settle for was 10 shifts per month. Minimally, I would make sure that I work there 10 shifts so that I get like 400,000. But if I do 20 shifts, that is 800,000. If I do, 30 shifts, so 1.2. So it was really depending on how much I am working or what time I give to them. So December, January, February, I got another deal. Not a deal, but I got another locum job, and for it was paying me twice the money. So the money used to range between 50 to 80,000. So if I do 10 shifts for the 50, that's 500. If I do for the 800, that's 800. So that was the rough scale of it. Then guess what? All my hope, all my money, I'd really saved a lot of money, because I'm that person who likes working. So, but many people know me that my adrenaline drive for work is totally different. Like, I can work day, night for an entire week without sleeping. Okay, not sleeping, but at least without going home. I can doze a bit, but then I can work for that long, for an entire week. So I'd really saved enough money besides my internship, the money from the gigs. So COVID comes in, everything is messed up, many people are not working. I personally, by then I'd started now another adventure. I'd gotten into home care, so discharge patients from hospital, or when patients were discharged from hospital, I would then they would let nurses to follow. Usually the patient's family requests for which people they want to follow them home. So the secret is, be good to all patients, you never know. So they usually suggest, let so and so come, let so and so come. And if they don't do so, the hospital sits, and maybe the head of ICU, they sit and be like, okay, so and so will go follow up that patient or treat that patient from home. And treatment from home varies. So they would pay you like between 70,000 to 100,000 every time you go there. That depends on, how far the place is, how much they've negotiated with the family, how much the family is willing to offer. So I didn't work there even for more than 5 times. Then they brought total lockdown. I sat home for an entire week. I was so depressed. I was used to working, and now I'm not working, I'm not earning, I'm just sitting at home. I wouldn't go home. Oh, they give us a place where to stay during internship, so I wouldn't really go home, because since I was in hospital, I didn't want to infect people home, so I'm stuck in hospital. So on the 3rd, I'll never forget that day. On the 3rd of April, during lockdown, someone calls me, and they're my friends. They tell me, oh, there is this person looking for a nurse, but I would recommend you a good ICU nurse, and you really know what to do for the patient. So now there is controversy, that is in quotes anyway. But then my parents were concerned, I was concerned, would I get sick? There is COVID everywhere. And okay, we are assuming by then there was COVID everywhere. So long story short, we go from lockdown to not lockdown. So by the end of the year, so I got introduced to home care, I think earlier in 2020. So by the end of the year, depending on where you've worked, there reached a time whereby we wouldn't work because we didn't have cars, we didn't have how to move. So most of us sat home, or we had other issues that would not let us move. But eventually, when the lockdown was done, and in March, I got introduced to this home care. So we had those patients who would go home. Then lockdown came in, it was so bad. But then I'd already been introduced to the home care business. So when lockdown is out, we started working again. By then I was really obsessed by home care. So I would do my internship and then home care. But then by then I think I was paid now between 130 to 260 every visit I go every day. So depending on how many days you work, still blah blah, and many other things you do, you could get at least minimally 4M. Nurses, I'm sure if you're out there and you're watching, you can do day shift plus night and day plus night. So because you'd be able to get around 4 million a month. So if you add extra shifts, extra hours, so I would end up, I think, getting like I think up to like 7.5, if I've not really forgotten. That was so good. I really had ventured into home care, and I think it is one of the best paying specialty, or should I say the best paying type of nursing, because you invest in very little. And by then I was even thinking of opening up a home care business. I don't know how that died, but anyhow, the thing is, why many home care nurses are paid very little, because you have to go through an agency. So when you go through the agency, it has to cut off some money, though however sometimes the agencies pay really low. But depending on how you've negotiated, how good you are, who recommended you, that can determine a lot of what you earn. So right now I'm not in the home care business anymore, or I'm not doing home care visits, and that phase was there. But all I want to say that you can earn from as little as 400 to as much as 7 millions, 10 millions per month, depending on what you do and where you are. So that is my story, and I think that's a summary of how I've been earning. But then now, if you go to basic jobs, you have one job. I think my dream for a long time was to have one job. Like, I was so tired of running from here to there. So I was like, oh God, I just pray for one good job. Like, one good job. I don't have to run from here to there to here to there. So currently I'm doing one job, and of course the money can't be that much, but then still, depending on your cadre, I think we are paid between let me say, for bachelors, like let me say degree nurses, from the time I graduated, I think from the time I finished my internship to now, you could be paid between 1 million to 3 millions. I think that's the money. But then remember the taxes, so everything lowers with the taxes. But that's roughly how much you earn as a degree nurse in Uganda. Just be ready to know that the more you work, the better you get paid. Then your experience also matters. Why I was paid more in the home care business, it was because of my experience. And then the other reason could be, who are you working on? Because the patients determine a lot of how much we earn. Because if a patient is already financially constrained, it will be harder for them to give you that too much money. But if they have the money, they are willing, patients out there are willing to pay as much as 10 millions for, like, per month, for nurses to just come and work for them from home. So think about, should you do home care? Should you do clinical? Should you do research? Should you do, like, different types of things bring different types of income. If you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and give me your idea or tell me how much you're earning as a nurse. Thank you.